people believe that they don't matter. That may result in depression and many other mental and social problems. But that's not a matter here. This is about how you should decide who rules you.
26th Amendment states, "The right of the citizens of the United States who are 18 years of age or older to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of age." However, even though many American citizens are legally old enough to vote, most of them still don't.
On November 8th of the year 2016, only 59.40% of all 18 through 29-year-olds voted, and that is a little more than half.
Your voice, your vote.
Voting is a habit that you have to build over years. Like as you become older, it becomes more and more part of your routine, becomes more of what you do, and so your voting, your likelihood to vote raises as you get older.
The attitude about giving 18-year-olds a vote was very much connected with the notion old enough to fight, old enough to vote.
Trying to accomplish. I remember what Barbara Jordan, distinguished congresswoman from Texas, said that democracy is too important to be a spectator sport. And if you can't vote, you're a spectator. If you can vote, you can get down on the playing field in the Coliseum with the lions and participate in trying to make your community, your country, a better place in which to live.
Most countries allow their citizens to vote. So what exactly makes America different from the rest?
America is distinguished in the 20th century as a leader for universal suffrage. That is, so many people are allowed to vote, and people who previously weren't able to vote. So slaves weren't able to vote in America. Women were not able to vote. People under a certain age, or you had to own land in order to vote, to be a white person owning land. And it became a right for all of its citizens. So America distinguished itself in the 20th century in being in the forefront in allowing so many people to vote. And the idea that we have a democratic nation, it's actually a republic where people vote for their representatives or those who will represent them and represent their views in the government. And in the 20th century, America distinguished itself in being able to allow this universal suffrage and this promise of democracy.
We asked a couple of people at the Turkish Masjid if they had voted or not. Did you vote for the 2016 elections?
Yes, I did vote in the 2016 elections.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did vote in 2016 elections.
I did vote in 2016 elections. Yes, I did.
We also asked them why they voted and why they think it's important to vote.
Actually, it was a very difficult election, but still I had to, vote, and that's why I went to the polls.
I did vote because I think it's our civic duty, and anyone who has a right to complain or have any opinions should be participating in the political system. Otherwise, I'm giving up my right to be involved or to have a say in the daily events.
I feel like my vote counts. My vote will make a difference. Also wanted to exercise my right to vote. Also, I believed in the political views, the candidate in which I voted for. He stand for what he wanted to propose as far as laws go. So yeah.
Michelle Obama once said, "It's more important than ever that we show up to vote, not just this year, but every year and every election. Every voice must be heard and every vote must be counted."
Yet, government thinks that they made the wrong choice. Christopher Chase once said that he made a mistake lowering the voting age to 18. He thinks it happened out of guilt. Over time, millennial voter turnout of 18 to 29 years have decreased. But now, let me tell you this. Since everyone should choose who they want to be ruled by, shouldn't we let prisoners vote too?
Just because someone has committed a crime doesn't mean that all of their rights should be taken away. I believe that there's a good argument that while someone is serving their sentence, they shouldn't be allowed to vote, except maybe, let's say, on things that would affect them directly. So it could be a limited vote. But certainly after they've completed their sentence and they've been released, then they should be allowed to vote. Otherwise, it goes against the idea of rehabilitation. We talk about punishment as a deterrence and as justice for what someone has done. But once they've paid their debt to society, they don't need to be punished further by having their rights taken away, such as the right to vote. And it goes against the idea that, and I think that we should be welcoming people back into society, not making it more difficult for them by taking away their more and more of their rights, and thereby making it more difficult for them. We're all a part of society. We're basically fighting ourselves. And I think the idea is to empower people, and after rehabilitation, to definitely allow them to vote. And it's being done in some states, and I think in the future that we will see that there will be more and more people who will be allowed to vote.
So, what does it mean to be an American citizen? To be an American citizen means that I have a right to vote, and I decide who I want to become my leader. And just because there are other voters out there doesn't mean that my voice and my vote don't count.